How's it going? We got an update from Artix for AQ Infinity that actually has some information on AQ Infinity, some new information, and it's not just dev babble about random junk. So let's see what insanity they're going to say in this post, and let's see if it comes true in the next 3 to 10 years. Let's go. I am a dev babble enjoyer though, so hopefully there's more of those posts as well. But yeah, anyway, so there's actually a lot of good information in this, and it goes over as like a Q&A format here. So let's go over it all. Okay, the first thing that is in this post is probably because Artix is going crazy with people asking. I know this is in my comment section all the time. People constantly ask, the number one question we are asked is, when is Adventure Quest releasing? All right, so in this week's daily dev update post, we will attempt to answer that question accurately. But you already know when it released, when it's ready to clock. Okay, so this makes it seem like they're not gonna like give us more information. They actually do, so don't click off the video already. They actually do give more information on things like the release and things around that. So yeah, we'll go into that. Okay, the next paragraph here just says that in many more words. And talks basically a plug for his Facebook, in a lot of words. Anyway, so go follow Artix on Facebook. Will I be able to play my current AQ Worlds character in the new game? Okay, people already know this, yes. But they go into more detail here, which is nice. Some people ask about this, and I don't really have an accurate answer a lot of times. Yeah, okay, and it keeps getting updated too. Like as time goes on and they work more on the game, the answer gets more clear every time. Like as more and more work actually gets done on AQ Infinity, this answer gets more and more clear. So let's go. Some stats, including level, will be tracked separately in this new game. So there's a little bit more clarification on that. There's more to it than that, of course, but will I have my stuff is the next one. Cosmetically, yes. So we've known this answer for the past like 5 years, maybe longer, maybe a little less than that, but roughly around. We've known that for a while. It's only cosmetics that are going to be transferring. So if your NSOD has damage boost, doesn't matter. You're still gonna have the sword, and it might let you have some sort of benefit in the new game. Like we don't know the depth of it. So like, let's say you farm an enhancement in like a forge enhancement in AQ Worlds right now. Is that going to apply in AQ Infinity? We don't know. And the answer isn't in this dev blog, sadly, either. We don't know if the NSOD is going to give you a benefit in the next game, for example, either. We do know that classes are transferring over, so those are safe to farm and obtain for AQ Worlds because classes will make their way over. All the other stat-related items are really up in the air, and the devs probably don't even know. Okay, I actually like what was right here. I was going to skip over this, but why is it taking so long? Because we chose the extremely challenging task of converting all of your stuff along with the thousands of items, monsters, maps, etc., instead of just making a new game. A new game would have been easy. We took the hard path. We did it for the right yeah, okay, you might think that this is like a lie or whatever, but like, or not a lie, but like not the truth or not accurate. But in reality, if they just started a new game that was 2D like AQ Worlds, and maybe use some AQ Worlds assets and stuff, but was a new game, it would be a lot easier than what they're trying to do. What they're trying to do is just insane. Anyway, we took the hard path. We did it for the right reasons. For you, our game community, and all of those who contributed to building AQ Worlds weekly these past 16. It will be 16 years this October. We are legit committed to bringing AQ Worlds to all devices. Sure, it's taking way longer than we imagined. Yeah, a lot longer. It will be worth it when it is complete and you are playing at 60 FPS or higher across your devices with your stuff. We want you to be proud of it. Our previous tech demos are proof that it is real. Our transparent daily update posts give you an insight into exactly what we're working on. All right, so I feel like it's like a little paragraph to kind of summarize what's their thought, the whole thought process behind AQ Infinity. Okay, we got some more information here. So when is AQ Worlds Infinity releasing? That's such a mouthful. The answer is simple. Tech demos. So they've already done 3 tech demos. The 4th one they were going to do, if you guys remember, and then they just didn't. And then like weeks went, and they said we're delaying it to next week, and next week came, they still didn't do it. So this one's probably taking a lot longer than they expected. Win Mage class in floor 1 of Bloodbrought Keep with dialogue cutscenes are ready for testing. Ideally this, see, they're saying this week here, but I'm not taking that because they've already said this week, and then it's already came and got. There could be a test this week. We'll see. I hope. Anyway, Alpha means that AQ Infinity MMORPG is this like a keyword thing for the anyway? Is playable. It's just like a search engine, but we are still actively working, and it probably is, on features, tools, and core gameplay. A limited number of things will have been converted. Once all 4 base classes are reading, I think it's supposed to be ready, and ideally 1 Infinity class, combat is stable, item issues are fixed, major known bugs are fixed, and alpha content areas, Bloodrut, Dragon's Lair, and Town Battle-On are ready for testing. Not even Yoga or Interior? Ideally, maybe that's included. Ideally at the start of November, but no promises. This no promises should probably be in bold and underlined in all caps. The start of November is not happening, but anyway, sure, guys, at the start of November, definitely, that's when the alpha is gonna start, guys. The start of November for AQ Infinity, definitely. Yeah, I take that no promises thing very seriously. Requirements to be determined. Plan requirement, like spec requirements. It's probably gonna be like a Steam page. Could be like a CPU, a working monitor attached to your computer. Plan for Steam and sideloaded on Android devices for mobile testing. So this is just for the alpha, by the way. If we forego, so this was interesting. I read through this beforehand. Sometimes I won't, but I actually did just to see if this would be worth making into a video. So they say they could potentially forego a Kickstarter. So if English isn't your first language, forego, basically, there might not be a Kickstarter is what they're saying here. I know some people watch this where English isn't the first language. Forego isn't even a common word. Anyway, but I don't read it that often. I actually double checked it just to anyway. So there might not be a Kickstarter. That's what they're saying here, which I think might actually be a good idea. I honestly think if they did like a Steam page with what most MMOs will do, where they have like founder packages on the Steam page, that would probably be the way to go. And they could probably sell the founder packages also on their own website for people that are going to be playing on mobile and on Steam, so they can buy them there and still be attached to account and all that. But probably a better idea than doing a Kickstarter, because Kickstarter is kind of just odd, awkward, and kind of like Kickstarter doesn't really get used anymore. Okay, I said that without actually like being on Kickstarter ever in the past. Like I think the last time I went to Kickstarter was the last time Artix Entertainment had a Kickstarter. And this one has 650,000 in the last 30 days. And yeah, so, but this is a well-known franchise. I see this on Steam all the time, this game, and they've made quite a few of them. So maybe maybe Kickstarter is still a good idea. Although the second most popular game only has 9,000 Canadian dollar dues. So, okay, never mind. There's a lot of them that have hundreds of thousands. Okay, so, okay, Kickstarter might still be a good idea. The platform still seems to be pretty healthy for, at least as far as funding goes. That's, yeah. It's cool nonetheless though. So there's going to be an Android version that will be available for the alpha, which they say will be definitely in November. So soon they plan on actually letting us play a mobile phone version of the game soon. Really nice. Can't wait to try that. I definitely will be trying that myself. Next part of this is about the beta. So beta means the game is stable and we are switching our focus from features and tools to building content. I go to bed each night dreaming of the moment we get to this point. During beta, our goal is to recreate the entire 13 Lords of Chaos saga, rising the level cap accordingly. If you are a fan of things like classic WoW or private servers, you'll really enjoy this unique experience. So they're going to basically release 13 Lords of Chaos, like kind of like how it was back in the day. It's not going to be the same at all, even close. But it's kind of cool to go through the leveling thing with the releases being released. in order like they would have been back. It's cool nonetheless. It won't be even close to the same, but it's still cool. And I like to point out that this is likely why we're seeing like the class team, if you follow them on Twitter, they've been rebalancing a lot of the rewards and the areas for AQ Worlds, like the Flash version, because they want to have parity between those two. We'll read that in the live here. So I think they're doing that for that reason. I wouldn't see why else, because they probably don't have too many people picking up and playing AQ Worlds Flash right now. Like new players probably isn't a lot based on what I've seen. There's returning players, not a lot of new ones, and returning players already played through 13 Lords of Chaos Saga, so they probably just want to zip through that as quickly as possible if they're making a new account. I would like to also point out that this wording here, it has me kind of worried a little bit. So I don't know if you guys remember the pre-Adventure Quest Worlds. I talked about this in the Ricochet collab we did a while ago. I think one of the questions in that collab that was asked was, what was the like best thing that was added to AQ Worlds, like as far as like a feature or something. And the only thing we could come up with was when Spider joined AQ Worlds, like probably what 10 plus years after it came out, and they finally got a new set of features that were massive quality of life improvements to the game that it needed for so long and never had. I really hope they don't stop working on features and the tools part, whatever, but the features, I really hope that doesn't stop with the beta. Let's hope they continue to try to improve the game, especially because it's on Unity game engine. You're not restricted by Flash. That isn't an excuse or anything anymore. So, and Unity still gets updated, and it will continue to be updated probably. So there's no real excuse for the features to stop at any point. Artix teases something they're cooking here in this paragraph as well, but he says there is a specific trigger moment that will cause the major live release to happen. So I imagine this is going to be at the end of the 13 Lords of Chaos, because they mentioned that here. So if you go off that, they probably at the end of that is gonna, I don't know, a rocket's gonna shoot in the air or something, and the black hole is gonna come and suck up all of, who knows. But kind of interesting. We'll see what happens with that. He mentions here in the next paragraph, well, there will be a special event, so they're going to be doing something. I don't know what a special event means, but could be something cool. Everyone gets Alpha Pirate. Let's go. You get Alpha Pirate. You get Alpha Pirate. Look under your chair. Weekly releases will officially continue here. Attempting to sync with AQ Worlds releases. This has to be the most disappointing part of this whole shebang that I haven't actually read this last part or that sec, but why? I hate this. Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me get your 2 cents on this. I don't know if I'm alone on this, but I really wish it was just a different new thing. Like AQ Worlds Flash could still be getting updates that were kind of like, when there's like a console generation and they go from like the PS4 to the PS5, right? You know how they still release games on the PS4? Why that has to stop at some point, right? It hasn't with the current generation. It's kind of a bad example because they haven't really stopped, but that kind of needs to stop at some point, right? So you can actually get some real PS5 games, and they're not being held back by the PS4. This is like saying that this is more extreme. This is like saying that they have an NES, and they have they want to parody the NES game on the PS5. That's basically what they're saying here. For example, let's say you want to put out a new map in AQ Infinity, and the map has cool lava particle effects and all that stuff. You'd have to completely remake that separately for AQ Worlds and AQ Infinity because they use 2 different systems for animations. So the map couldn't have an animation on it, even though it would work fine on Unity. It'd be very intense on AQ Worlds Flash. So you couldn't do that. So we're going to completely extract that and ignore that. We're not doing that ever. No lava flowing maps because it just won't work on Flash. stuff like that will be very common. I don't know. Anyway, I could rant about that for hours, to be honest. I really don't understand why they want to do that. It just, I think AQ World's flash should always stay up, right? Kind of like how you can go back and play like Pony versus Pony, for example, from Artix Entertainment, that game. No, that's not the same, but you get what I'm saying though, right? Like, it's just stay up and your account should work there, but there should be like a cutoff point at some point. Not, man, maybe they can keep it going for a few more years after AQ Infinity's up and see if people actually adopt it and stuff, right? Like, keep one foot in the door for AQ Worlds. I understand that as a business thing, but I think at some point, a couple ways down the road, there should be some sort of sunsetting. It's still up, you can still play it, but I really hope that happens. That might be their plan. I hope it is, and they're just saying stuff like this. So I don't know why, but anyway, like I said, I could talk about this for hours. Now let's read the last paragraph and end up this video, because this video is probably way too long at this point. Now, if anyone has a time machine, they can let me for a second. Oh, okay. Please send, and we can speed this up. Actually, could also go back in time and release in 2020 in the unlikely event that no one has a time machine. Above plan. Yeah, they really missed that whole COVID gaming boom, huh? In the unlikely event that no one, every game developer is probably like, hey guys, I wish I had a time machine to release my game in 2020. The above plan will be how we will release Adventure Quest Worlds Infinity. If you see anyone who's wondering, all right, so that was just, the anime GIF fill. Okay, so that's that. That's this post. I thought this was good enough to make into its own video, and probably too long to put into a news video. So that's why it's here. That's why I uploaded it. Leave a comment down below what you think of all of this. A lot of new little tidbits in here. A lot of stuff we already knew, of course, but it's nice to talk about. I don't know, keep it up. We've been talking about this for probably maybe longer than the game will actually exist once it's released. You guys thought about that? This game might be in development longer than people actually want to play it. Maybe that's just Concord. Anyway, what if this releases and no one wants to play it? Let's not think about that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Really like, subscribe, all that junk, and I'll see you next one. Become a channel member. It's only like $2 a month. Bye-bye.